Throwback Saturday in the house.
That was a nice nostalgic visit.
Yes.
From about a year ago. I think Josh is just having fun with us.
I think he is right now.
Getting into the new year, things might wants to spice things up.
At Mr. Goodhair's expense.
At Mr. Goodhair's expense. So,
You're moving in the right direction in the hair department.
Exactly.
That is pretty good.
Well, go ahead.
We have our next guest up, another great agent from KW Premier.
It's KW Day.
It is, and we said it's Red Day in the studio. Funny story. I was actually during the Christmas holidays. I was walking into the studio into a store, and I saw Susan, and she was there, and she was buying, and I didn't want to bother her at all. We were probably both doing the same thing, trying to get in and out as fast as possible.
Without anyone
there.
seeing you, right?
Yeah, without anyone seeing us, and we were both in the game store. So walked in, walked out, and I was like, I've been meaning to let her know about getting on the show. So I immediately texted her and said, hey, by the way, saw you in this store. I apologize about not saying hello, but I want to have you in the studio. And she's absolutely Chris. Let's get it going. So, Susan, welcome to the studio, by the way.
Thank you.
For all those who have never heard of you before, let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. I originally moved out to the Cinco Ranch area 21 years ago. My daughter was about 3 at the time. We wanted to get out there as soon as we could. I love the area, seen a lot of changes. And then just recently, 6 years ago, I decided to get into real estate. Until then, I was a stay-at-home mom and got involved with a lot of volunteering at school and have always wanted to get into real estate and have loved it ever since.
Well, being a volunteer mom, being a mom is a full-time job. I get reminded of that all the time, by the way. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I want to tell my wife, thank you very much. But that's your involvement also allows you to know a lot of stuff about what's going on in the community.
Oh, yes.
And it gets you to know that fabric of the community.
Definitely.
Talk a little bit about how that's impacted your role as a real estate agent.
Well, with me being involved with this, volunteering at school and everything, it's helped my career out a lot. I've met a lot of nice people out there. My husband tells me whenever we go anywhere, Susan, you see people that you know everywhere, and everybody knows you. So you made it kind of your little small town.
And that is really neat. It's always like when you walk into somebody, I walk into the HEB right there on Fry Road quite a bit, and then I see tons of clients that walk up, and it's refreshing to know you have an impact on the community, you have an impact on individuals' lives, being involved obviously within the community as well, the education system and the educators you ended up seeing, and there's just some wonderful people.
It's a recurring theme for us because we talk about community a lot.
All the time.
A lot of people think of real estate people as people who go out and get their commission and walk away, but we are very ensconced in our communities. We give back to our communities. We're involved with the communities. We know the people. It's not just about selling real estate, because you do a lot of things. Probably you've already sold them something, yet they have other needs. They may want updated on information they want, what's going on with my house, what's coming down the pike, what should I be aware of, and it might be another 7 years before they sell that house, but you're going to be in contact.
Oh, yes.
I know Keller Williams. I know how they stay in touch because it always amazes me because you've had like a 6-month relationship with somebody, maybe finding the house, and then a lot of people just say, well, we're sold, now I'm moving on, and they never hear from their agent again.
Yeah, that's an important thing, is just to keep in contact with my people. I do.
Because you like them. You become friends. Some of my best friends I start off as known as real estate.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, I want to go back when I introduced Susan. I forgot to let everybody know her last name, which is Susan Huston, by the way.
I think that's
that way, if they're sitting there right now and they're trying to figure out which Susan we have on.
Yeah, and that's with a T.
That is right. Hutson.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
And I've also been involved in marathoning. I run marathons, and I'm part of the running groups and things like that. And that's another thing that I like to do. I've helped with KSR. It's a training program for Katy students in the Katy High School, Morton Ranch.
Right.
Training for them to run in the half marathon. And I've done that a couple of years out there in Katy too. So
that is really neat.
It's a really good program.
Absolutely. Well, we do have a caller in right now. And so we have Jennifer calling in. Jennifer, thank you for calling in the show. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
So I know you have a great question for us.
Yes, I used to live right next to Cinco Ranch High School, and I've moved out of the area about 3 years ago. And I was just wondering, with the new Exploration Park going in, how do they expect the prices of homes to be impacted right around the Cinco Ranch High School area?
Well, I think that that park's going to be absolutely awesome. There's going to be running trails, there's going to be lakes, and there's going to be you can kayak on the lakes there. They're going to have a pavilion, and I think it's just going to really do wonderful things for the homes in that area, especially the ones that have been backed up to the Grand Parkway, because that's going to kind of cut down on the noise in their backyard. So I think it's just going to be wonderful.
Yeah,
well, that sounds great. Hope there's some homes left for sale when they finish it.
we know somebody you can call to find out.
Yes, for sure.
That's right. Okay, I'll call Susan.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
Jennifer.
the phone call. You know,
You're
that
welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
that's a really, really neat question she had right there, because the longest time when I was driving down 99, I used to always see that big swath of land right behind the Cinco Ranch High School. And the problem is a little landlocked, right? Because you had Cinco Ranch and all the homes, you had the high school, but you had no way to really access it because there was no access road right there. And then if you notice, they started building the new parking lot that goes into it right there. Next thing you know, they announced Exploration Park. I think it's going to be a huge bonus because we really don't have anything like that.
It's going to be great. And I didn't realize there's going to be like 270 some parking spaces there.
Oh, yeah.
And, it just doesn't seem like it's that big. It's 32 acres. And it doesn't look that big. But
No, not from 99.
Yeah, but it's going to be great. I'm really excited about it because I like to run, and I think it's just going to be a really great park.
How's that park being financed?
That's a good question.
It's
do
Willow-
not
That's why I
know.
asked it.
Yes.
It's part of Willow Fork. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's like the
Willow Fork drainage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it says Willow Fork Development.
Uh-huh.
Or something on there. That's true.
A case of, well, we can't put any more buildings on here because of how it, creates issues with absorption, water absorption,
about,
things like that.
right.
So they said you have to do something to mitigate some of the drainage issues. So was it created for that?
I have, I have not done my background research on how.
Well,
that
I want you to
belonged,
come back
but
next week prepared
Now
for
that
me.
you have challenged Susan, myself, and Crystal, and
That's
Claudia,
right.
This
we
needs to
will
be,
know next week how that went on.
We'll sponsor it, and it will be Rat Pat Park. How about that?
That could work.
There you go.
No, that's not bad at all. But
Always
no, it's
thinking
really
over here.
neat
It's not
because
just the hair. I got something underneath all this hair.
Well, some of the issue, of course, it doesn't happen. I don't think it happens that much out in Katy, but flooding is going to be such an issue in and around all of Harris County and Fort Bend County. Engineers are starting to relook at impact of development, and they have a formula, but it doesn't always work when you get these like what they call 500-year floods.
right.
They didn't engineer for that. They might have done it for a 100-year flood, and so I think you're going to start seeing them set aside parcels like that. Like, we're not going to develop this. We need some ability to take extra water and do something with it. And so I think
If they want to continue always to build slab on grade, then that's, unless you want to elevate the houses 2 or 3 feet, and it's a whole different architectural look if the houses are all
and that's
built
a
up on
whole
pilings.
other show, by the
Yeah.
way.
Well, that's why you look at
Big
something
deal.
that's why you look at something like Cinco Ranch. Cinco Ranch is the largest master plan community in the United States. It's absolutely huge, especially when they added in Cinco Ranch West, which is the new section that they're building on over there.
So it's larger than the Woodlands?
Yes, it is. It
That's
is.
good to know.
It's absolutely huge. It's absolutely well. I think with that addition of what they did on Cinco Ranch West, and one of the things that if you notice though within Cinco Ranch, very similar to what the Woodlands has, is it is filled with different parks. It's filled with different lakes. I mean, it has a whole bunch of amenities, natural amenities, to try and mitigate some of those issues because it used to be just land.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the beach club itself and the lake there. And
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great community. I've lived out there, like I said, 21 years, and I've lived in 2 homes in Cinco Ranch. So
Right. So and what's pretty amazing is you still see it today. You still look at things every once in a while. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that was there. I mean, there are little things that happen when you're driving around and you don't realize it's
and
there.
Just see them pop up. Yeah, definitely.
So, and I guess what was, you were also obviously with Dr. Ted Jones. What are some of the things that were interesting to you in regards to his speech?
He brought up the fact that the plastic. What was it?
Yes.
the plastic industry and how that's going to help too, along the Gulf.
Well, yeah, what he was talking about, which I thought was fascinating, I didn't realize this. He said, but we were talking about oil and gas. He was talking about the natural gas that we have, obviously our natural gas, and what's used to produce plastic. And I don't want to misinterpret anything, but he said that there was something like 18 to 21 new plastic companies going on along the Gulf Coast. Obviously, a lot of them on the outskirts of Houston. We're going to be one of the major exporters of plastic products within the next 10 years.
Well, they talk about the petrochemical, and that's that's where plastics are in that category of petrochemical, and it's not just plastics. I mean, look, the application of fossil fuels is well beyond just gasoline. And of course,
manufacturing in general. I mean, as the cost of electricity goes down, manufacturing will explode in this country because that's been one of the barriers to manufacturing here in heavy industries because power has been more expensive in the recent past, but now we have a totally new trend to look forward to.
Well, and a lot of that also has to do with, he talked about 2016, Texas as being one of the top states for tax climates for businesses. So the other thing about that is that a lot of businesses are coming to Texas because of how friendly we are.
Yes.
He said the ones that are ahead of us,
right, yeah.
He said the two that are ahead of us you really wouldn't want to move to. He said South Dakota, and what was the other one, Wyoming. He goes, who wants to live that cold?
Yeah.
No.
And they go together, taxes and torts, because we reformed both, and we have a very good climate with regard to tax and
torts,
and tort reform.
Yeah, it's a very business-friendly environment. They actually did a comparison one time of starting a business here and starting in like Cleveland. And it took 1 day to open it up in Houston. It took 18 months to open the same business up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you get too much regulation. I believe in regulation. I just don't believe in over-regulation.
You see a lot of an anecdotal example of that. You see a lot of new Carl's Jr. It's a hamburger place opening here. They're huge in California, have been for decades.
Right.
And they just have found it too expensive and cumbersome to open a new store out there. They can come here and they can open 12 stores here.
The price
it takes
of one
them
over
to
there.
open one out there.
Yeah.
So they have literally just said, well, that's enough of that, and they're coming here. So
How do we get a hold of you?
My website is sellinghomesandkaty.com, and my telephone number is 713-294-1686.
And I think we need to take a break.
I think we're going to be taking a break. That is Susan Huston, by the way, with KW Premier. We have to take a break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And a long night there, and these long